Oh, it is week 9 together with RosterWatch and the Flex Network. We are live in the box. To the left of me, we have one at Sealy_Shane. What's going on this morning, brother?
What is going on, brother? Feeling good.
Hey, man, I got an extra hour of sleep. I am so rejuvenated. It's so incredible how much an extra hour of sleep can really do you in right here. One at Alan Seslowski, ALANSCS, Low Sky. What's going on, brother?
I like the other daylight savings, the one where we lose an hour of sleep, but we gain an hour of daylight. That's the one I like. This one is depressing to me.
Yep, that one I don't like. I don't like that one. Yes, I want more sleep all the time as we wake up. Let's give everybody, if someone could pull it up real quick. I didn't have it on me. I was just doing this on the fly. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Jennifer. Chuck Olson, good morning. Love this show. Well, we love you. Let's recap a little bit going on right now in the London game this morning, although not the morning for us. We have the Texans up 9-3 at the half. Deshaun Watson with a 1-yard passing touchdown to one at Alan Seslowski's favorite tight end, Darren Fells. Play the song. Ewalps, good morning, brother. Let's get the morning flex going, guys. Throw your questions in the chat. This just is something incredible. I woke up with just, I was like the Joker. I was just toodle-a-doodling down the stairs, and then I had just a groundbreaking thought. Can you guys guess at all, maybe a viewer or the viewers, can anybody guess what mind-blowing thought that I had this morning? The second I woke up, I almost yelled it.
Oh, God. I don't even want to guess.
Jordan Howard revenge game.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
you've been talking about it all week, man.
You didn't give me a minute. I was going to guess that. I was going to guess that.
Yes, Jordan Howard going up against his old team. Now, last week wasn't a very, very big week for Jordan Howard. Miles Sanders got a really nice, healthy share of his in the offense. But I'm going back to the well today with Jordan Howard in every single league that I have him. I'm smoking him if I got him. Butterfinger 87 here. Good morning, brother. Standard League, Gore, Singletary, or Catch TMC, Shane.
See, listen, I think every week, like right now, Catch TMC is going to be electric. The only thing that's kind of risky is we don't know what the F is going to happen with Dwayne Haskins, right? Is he actually going to produce, or every time he's been on the field, he, as one Sam Darnold said, is seeing ghosts?
So even worse. I think Haskins has been like a deer in headlights, man.
Absolutely.
We said it on Friday's show. I think he's going to hand the ball off a heck of a lot today. I'm not sure. You like McLaurin from here on out? I would need to show me game first.
Yeah, you know what? Now that I'm kind of processing it a little bit, let's go with Singletary, man. I think that they're finally going to take the reins off this guy and hopefully give him the actual ball. But yeah, I would go Singletary here.
Singletary is the answer there. Good morning, everybody. Bring your questions on in. Absolutely every single question that you have. As we get Byron on, I'm going to go ahead and kind of let these pour in before we go. Vince, I see your comment. Thank you, brother. I will let these guys roll in here once Byron Lambert from at RosterWatch joins us. They just finished their all business edition of the game day morning on Sirius XM. They do just a fantastic job over there at Sirius. I was listening to the show right when I woke up. It's just amazing. Those guys together have just the best chemistry on Sirius XM, and we really enjoy Byron hopping on here with us. Jennifer, I got a question for you. Last week was almost a do or die week for you. Hopefully you ended up doing great with that. Isaac, thank you. We're going to get to that comment there in just a second. Okay, we'll get to it right now. Oh, geez. Do I lose in the RosterWatch Listener League by 20 or 40 points? Thanks, banana in the tailpipe. Yes. Yeah. So Jimmy Garoppolo. Good morning, B. Ollie. Jimmy Garoppolo stunted out on the Thursday night game. I started him everywhere but pretty much one place, which was in my Dynasty League. In my Dynasty 2-quarterback league, I did not choose to start Jimmy Garoppolo this week. I felt better with the Gardner Minshew. It hasn't been looking very good for Garner so far over there in London. Raquel Armstead. Armstead is vulturing.
Are you back? Are you back on the Nick Foles? Or you remember we were having a spirited debate if Nick Foles will get his job back? A bad showing in London pretty much guarantees it, right?
No.
Well, you saw the headline this morning, right? They were basically saying that there's a chance that Gardner could keep the job.
Yeah. What is that? Of course, they're going to have to say that chance. What are they going to say? There's no chance he keeps his job. Of course, they're going to. I mean, if he came up here and went 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, of course he's going to keep it. But if he throws 150 yards and 1 touchdown and 2 picks, I mean, you got to go back to Foles. The guy's a Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP.
Well, also against one of the better young teams in the league. I wouldn't necessarily say, the whole entire team is young, but they're only down 6 points at half against a good defense, pilfered as of recent late. But AJ Bouye, former Texan, is locking up DeAndre Hopkins, and he's doing a rather good job here. Duke Johnson getting a lot of work in the pass game. So I really do appreciate that. In the flex position, Duke Johnson was ready for it here. Says, do we have any questions from the DFS Army Slack chat that we can roll through here?
Absolutely. The first one, it was another Catch TMC question. It was Catch TMC or Deontay Johnson.
I love Deontay Johnson this week.
Go ahead, Shane. Tell me about Deontay this week.
Look, I love Deontay Johnson right now. Like we talked about it on the Friday night show. Right now, like his chemistry is growing. And he, I think, is de facto number 2 in that offense. Jalen Samuels is electric. He's going to be in. But, for some reason, the Steelers right now, they don't really have an identity. So I think that Deontay Johnson is a rookie that they were high on. They're going to continue to get him involved in the game. And they're pushing the ball downfield. So for me, we just talked about it, Terry McLaurin. It's a show me first kind of game with Dwayne Haskins. I would go Deontay
Johnson. We'll get a couple. Go ahead, Says. Couple more.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know what? Let's just talk about our general feelings on this player today because it'll answer a lot of questions. Shane mentioned that he was getting questions in the RosterWatch message boards today. I'm getting a ton, Shane, about Zach Pascal.
Yeah,
why don't we just go around and talk about our feelings on him with no TY out? If we think where would you be ranking him? Is he top 24? Is he top 15? Is he top 36? What do you guys feel about Pascal this week?
Matt, you want to go with that first or?
Team name and record. Okay. Team name and record. No, go ahead, Shane.
Okay. So my general feel on this is I'm a little bit worried, right? So he's going to be getting Steven Nelson from Pittsburgh, he's a very good corner. And right now, I mean, there's always a question of when a guy gets elevated to that number 1 position, are they actually capable of being a number 1? Zach Pascal, while he's been really good, it actually worries me quite a bit. Starting him this week. So honestly, it's kind of matchup dependent. I'm starting him in one league, which is our Dynasty League, because I don't have too many other options right now. But if you have better options, I would start them over Zach Pascal. I think it might be a Jack Doyle game.
Yeah,
well, if you started Darren Fells, you'd be sure happy right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Did I miss that? Did Fells get a touchdown?
Yes, a 1-yard touchdown from Deshaun Watson.
This morning,
we talked
earlier.
Yeah, we talked about it on Friday, and I'd said that normally you're chasing yards and targets with tight ends because it's just touchdowns. Who knows? But I think this is the exception with Fells. And for anyone that's asking me questions, I basically told them that in any given, Fells is 6'7", former basketball player. He's got a potential MVP QB on the field, and that means it's about a 50% touchdown chance every single game because when they get there, that's who he's looking for. So Fells is in play every week on the touchdown. I think the touchdown dependency doesn't really apply to him because it's in play every week.
And so for our listeners here, please go follow at RosterWatch on Twitter. Follow at the Flex Network 1. Please give us a subscribe here on the RosterWatch Media YouTube channel. Give us a subscribe on the Flex Network YouTube channel. On the Flex Network, we just added movie news and reviews. We have a weekly NFL show on Facebook and Twitter. So please, guys, give us a like and follow. We'll go ahead and start getting to these questions. And thank you guys very much. So, Vince, I usually flex a running back, but now that Adams is back, I don't know what to do. I have Hopkins and Godwin's in at the moment with Samuels at the flex position. Should I flex Adams over Samuels? It's full point PPR and half point per carry. Half point per carry. Says, go ahead here.
So throw the question back up on the screen there while I'm doing it. It's fine. I could talk over the bar, see? So yeah, no, I agree with everything you said there, but I'm playing Adams. If they held him out long enough, where if he's actually playing, that I think that you're talking over Jalen Samuels. Yeah, okay, all right.
0.5 per carry.
Yeah. Let me pull that back. I just meant as a general statement. If he's playing, he's healthy. But yeah, in the carry, and also Jalen Samuels is set to get the the workhorse role. Benny Snell is out too, from what I understand, or he's severely compromised.
It's surgery.
So they brought up Trey Edmonds from the practice squad again, just a kind of a plotter, just as some depth. So Jalen Samuels, I would say the over in fantasy points for him today. I think the floor is like 17, 18 points and probably upside for 30 plus. So yeah, in this specific case, Jalen Samuels, I think, is an obvious call.
I got a question for you though, because he still has the option between Godwin or Devontae Adams. Godwin is flying literally across the country to Seattle.
Don't worry about it, baby, because yours truly is heading to Seattle for the game as soon as this podcast gets over. And the weather is great here. It is perfect football weather. Last week, we got passed on for 400-plus yards with Matt Schaub.
Yes.
Okay? Don't be afraid of Godwin this week going against my Seattle Seahawks. I am going for just a juicy matchup to watch live. Hopefully my entire fantasy team just benefits mutually and the Seahawks get the win in the end. That's what I hope for. But go ahead, Shane. Sorry to interrupt you.
No. I mean, it just begs the question, right? We talked about it. You never sit Chris Godwin, but what if the option is Devontae Adams, right? To me, I agree with you. I'm still playing Chris Godwin this week over Devontae Adams because we don't know if he is indeed 100%. He probably is, otherwise I wouldn't start him. But it's just, you have to ask that question.
Yes, I'm going to say right here that we have to go Samuels over everybody. I mean, with the only running back available in that offense in a good matchup, half point per carry. The guy's going to get every single carry that comes his way.
I hate that rule.
It's only 10 points. He's going to get 20 carries at least.
Do you guys like that rule? Like the point?
I hate that rule.
Yeah, it's just like, what is that?
I like the rule if you're in if it's a shallow league, like an 8-team, very, very, very high,
maybe like
starting
0.2 or like 0.1, but 0.5 is a lot. That's just
I've become such a fantasy snob. An 8-team league, it's like why?
Don't try
to up a 10-team league sometimes.
I do 10-team league. I'm it's just like okay, like this. It to me, it's just like there's no challenge. The waiver wire is part of the challenge. But listen, I understand in basketball. Like when I do fantasy basketball, I don't mind a 10-team league because I'm not as deep into it. I'm deep into it, but not as deep into it as the football. So I certainly understand the 10. 8.
Harrison Riles. Good morning. I believe Jordan Howard will have a great game against his old team, and that's exactly what I was slapped in the face with as soon as I woke up this morning, Harrison. Jordan Howard revenge game. Give it to him. Andrew Carasquillo, what's going on, brother? Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. We are so thankful for everybody and all your questions. We're getting there. Good morning, guys. I need 2 running backs and 2 receivers. So Josh Jacobs is in for sure. Then Marlon Mack, Ty Johnson, Catch TMC, Tyrell Williams, Pascal, and DK Metcalf. I'm going to go Jacobs for the first running back. Shane, give me the second one.
It's got to be Mac, right? I mean,
I would think it has to be Mac. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Don't get me wrong. We talked about it. Like, don't get trolled by Ty Johnson. He's gonna have some value. He's probably gonna have some value this week. I mean, you look last week. There were so many calls. So many of his plays called back. A clear touchdown that was just totally overthrown. So I mean, give me Ty Johnson, generally speaking. But when you got Mac as the other option, you got to go there. And then it seems obvious for the wide receivers too, right? We just talked about TMC and Zach Pascal. There's too many risks and question marks. Tyrell Williams, DK Metcalf. Oh, DK, man. He's just every week, he just gets me more and more excited.
Yeah, he Byron called it last week. If you listen here, Byron was saying, "Oh man, just a juicy game for a DK Metcalf catching 2 touchdowns last week." He's got some room to prove out here. Tampa Bay's defense, they're not incredibly known for being, just great against the receiver. So I would assume there's a bunch of opportunity here. But I'd really like to see DK show out again. I would have to say that it is tough, definitely this week. Ty Johnson, there was a run called back last week that would have been a monster, due to penalty. But the problem is that Ty Johnson, putting him in, you could be literally understanding that you're throwing a stinker in there. That could be Marlon Mack is going to get opportunity with a lot more high upside and a better floor. So I think you have to go Mac Jacobs, Tyrell Williams, and DK Metcalf. Be Ollie, good freaking morning. Yes,
what up, brother?
Trimmel Hawkins. Good morning, fellas. My team name in my league is CU Kamara. This week should I start Lamar Jackson or Matt Stafford? Says #season-long says coming in. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm not one that believes that that Lamar Jackson is going to be stifled by the amazing New England defense. Their pass defense is way better than their run defense. And I know Bill Belichick's going to come in with some sort of crazy plan to stop Lamar Jackson. But just remember, like, Lamar Jackson on the season is like RB9, something like that. Would you bench your RB9 versus a good defense? No, you would not. You'd put him in there. And, oh, yeah, by the way, he'll get you 120, 150 yards passing too. This guy is playing – he's in the quarterback position with some chances to throw passes. There's just no way to put him down there. I just think that Lamar Jackson is an every week start outside if you want to if you have Deshaun Watson, you can debate that, but I don't care who the defense is. The floor is way too high. A bad day for Lamar Jackson is what, 17 points in fantasy?
Well, okay, so you really think that he is unstoppable? I mean, Lamar Jackson's going to be able to get you your 100 yards rushing, so no matter what, if he goes 150 yards passing and maybe 1 touchdown, you're thinking
unstoppable.
Together.
Yeah, unstoppable is taking it a little bit on the margins. I'm just saying that the floor is so high with him and the ceiling is high. He's the rare high floor, high ceiling player. Yeah, like I said, just the under over for minimum of fantasy points would probably be about 17. And on any given day, he can give you a 40 plus. I know it's New England, so it's scary, but I wouldn't feel good about benching him.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go Lamar Jackson for that one. Jennifer, yes, here we go. Jennifer, yeah, I won last week. I won't, she said, but I won last week by 18 points, so I'm in second place, 6-2, 60 points behind first place with the same record. I did have 21.3 points from Juju on the bench.
But don't you feel so much better about Juju right now? Like and, this time last week versus now, like you feel like, okay, Juju's back, right? He's got at least a second string quarterback throwing him the ball. We feel good about Juju.
Yeah, we love Juju. And we always love Juju. I think the question in dynasty communities now, I think Juju's back up to wide receiver 1 or 2 in just overall dynasty value. He's just so young. And then she said she had 22.8 points. Miles Sanders on the bench. Oh, no. Well, we're glad you got it, Jennifer.
Where would Juju go in a dynasty startup now? I mean, he was going in the first round of dynasty startups this summer. So where do you think he would go? I mean, the end of the first round, beginning of the second, he's going to be 23 going into next season. Ben Roethlisberger is presumably coming back. I think he's going to be a value in dynasty startups, right? Do you agree with that?
So. Where he should be going, probably middle first round. Like 6 or 7, maybe.
It'd be hard to do it, but yeah, I mean that's probably. But you'll probably be able to get him if you're in a 12-team dynasty on the 12th.
Are you taking Hopkins or Juju first?
Juju.
Me too.
Ooh, okay. Okay, good. A little bit of dynasty insight. Let's also, before we scrub to the rest of these questions, guys, talking about dynasty, Darren Fells looking great. Looking great.
Dynasty.
But
He's as old as the dynasty. He's 33 years old.
But a young Kahale Waring has yet to be interjected into that offense. We will wait. Yep.
That's
go
what
ahead.
makes me excited about Kahale Waring, because Darren Fells is so old. Kahale Waring, they've got that tight end role in the offense. Don't get out of here with Jordan Akins. Kahale Waring next year, people. Love it.
Or even year 3. It's just guys to look out for, and look out for our dynasty content in the offseason, guys. We will be here all year. Nathan B., what's up, brother? Thank you. Good morning. PPR start 2, Sutton, Jeffrey, or Mike Williams. Although I do love Sutton, and I love me some Sutton, I'm not exactly sure about that QB position. Oh, Byron, good morning, brother. How are you?
I'm doing well, gentlemen. How are you guys?
Look at this new headset you got here. You look like a telephone operator in a warehouse. I like this.
This takes me back to my old cold call days back in the sales pit and mortgage sales, man. About
some sort of boiler room.
20. Boy, that was you want to talk about a sweat. You guys think DFS is a sweat. Wait till you're trying to close mortgages before the end of the month, subprime mortgages, so you can keep your electricity on, man. That's a sweat.
Oh, Byron, you are Byron. I was talking right before you came on here that I woke up this morning with just a heart grabber, and it was just singing.
I'm glad it was a heart grabber you woke up with.
Lord.
Jordan Howard revenge game.
I wake up with a heart grabber all the time.
That's right. Different one every week.
Tell me, we are going to get some Jordan Howard questions here, Byron, but I first want your insight on a Jordan Howard revenge game against a tight heart grabber defensive team in Chicago. What do we think about Jordan Howard's stat line on the game day today?
Well, it's a sick and twisted line of thought, but I think he's a fine play. I said it on the show. I'd probably play him over David Montgomery this week in that same matchup. So what does that make him? It makes him a low-end RB2 that you're always a little worried the basement could fall out in any given week, but certainly with upside. So Jordan Howard's a guy you would much prefer to roll out in your running back 3 or your flex spot and just hope to see what happens. I think if you do that, it's a solid play.
Byron, I got some questions here that we already went through as we were waiting for you, so I'd like to rapid fire those off to you real quick just to get some consistency through. So in a standard league, Gore, Singletary, or Catch TMC?
Singletary.
Boom. Vince Wyatt here says usually flex an RB, but now that Adams is back, doesn't know what to do. Has Hopkins and Godwin. Should he flex Devontae Adams over Samuels? Full PPR, but 0.5 per carry.
All right. Can you pop that? Will you keep that subtitle up here? Okay. Usually flex the captions. No, Adams, Hopkins, and Godwin. I'd play Samuels, right?
Yeah, we all said that. What do you? And the other question that came up here was, can you take it down for a second, Matt? And what do you think about this 0.5 per carry stuff? Like these points per carry leagues, we were just like, come on, get rid of that, right? I mean, this is not a real rule.
I'm constantly reminded that people are just too damn cockamamie, Allen.
All right. 0.5 per play.
Andrew Carasquillo, 2 RBs, 2 receivers, Jacobs, Mack, Ty Johnson, Catch TMC, Tyrell, Pascal, or DK Metcalf.
So I know I want Tyrell Williams and Josh Jacobs.
Yep.
So then it comes down to Mack or Metcalf. Or wait. Oh, Mack and Metcalf.
Yep, that's what we said too.
That's a sweet lineup, man. I feel good. I probably have a big heartthrobber in the morning with that.
Hey, Matt, you want one from Slack right now? I got a good one.
Yeah,
from Slack.
Go ahead.
Hey, Byron, this one is Tyrell Williams or Robbie Anderson in half PPR. I think that's a really good one.
I think you have to play Tyrell Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I love Robbie Anderson finally. Like, this is the time. This is what we've been waiting for the next 6 to 8 weeks, but who the hell really knows, right? I mean, it's pretty hard to just – Tyrell Williams, extremely touchdown dependent, but in standard, he's basically like a high-end wide receiver 2 or low-end wide receiver 1. He's the lead dog there. So
isn't he getting a touchdown a game right now? It's crazy.
Yeah, you just get – hey, You just get Tyrell Williams in right now.
You just get Tyrell Williams in. All right,
Just
here we
play
go.
Ty.
Basically, team name is CU Kamara. This week, should he start Jackson or Stafford?
If you go with our rankings, it's Matt Stafford, and there sure is a lot that goes into that. So feels risky anytime you bench Lamar Jackson. But life isn't without risk, and we make calculated risks and strategic decisions. We'll let the chips fall where they may. You feel good about starting Matt Stafford this week. Why sweat the Lamar Jackson?
If you start Matt Stafford, do not watch the Sunday night game.
Yeah, well, fair enough. You want to jump. Well, because to Shane's point, you could really see Lamar Jackson probably having to run for his life tonight, stack up a lot of fantasy points that way. On the other hand, would they say what is it, 300-yard games rushing in a row for Lamar Jackson, but the Patriots are, allowing very few rushing yards on the season. So you got to think they always take away your best weapon. And I mean, I'm pretty sure that Bill Belichick thinks that Lamar Jackson's the Ravens' best weapon.
Yeah, we when we attacked this earlier, I had the opposite view, but your logic is sound. I just thought that the floor is so high for Lamar Jackson, even if Bill Belichick comes in with a plan. I mean, what is Lamar Jackson, like RB9 on the year?
Well, is it okay to say somebody has two good options? I mean, it's hard to choose. This guy's got two great options.
Yeah,
I feel like if you're living like this, man, and you just play every week of the season, you're not going to get it right every time, but over the course of the season, you're going to win a lot. That's with true. Plays and a roster like that. So I guess for me, the way I would split it when it's close is every time I trick myself into floors and ceilings, that shit never works out, man.
Right.
I just want to make the best fantasy play on the week, and they're two good plays, and there's just a lot that tells me I think Stafford is maybe a little sharper play this week, man. I mean, I think you're fine. You're fine either way, truthfully.
No bad choice.
Play the matchups if you're not sure. And I mean that Stafford's got some weapons right now, man.
We say it all the time. It's your fantasy team, right? I mean, this is kind of what we're suggesting. But if you're not going to be able to live with yourself, if Lamar Jackson does put up a monster, then play Lamar Jackson.
That's the way to put it.
They'll probably end a similar stat line.
Whatever is going to help you sleep at night. I mean, that's the best advice, right? I mean, you've got to live with the decision you made. It's two good options. Go with the guy. Like, you don't bench the guy that you're going to agonize over if it's super close.
Yes, you want to wake up with the heartthrobber, not going to bed with the heartthrobber. Do you know what I mean? Here, Jennifer Sains had a big question last week, Byron, and we helped her win last week. Jennifer, thank you so much. The ladies of RosterWatch are on fire this morning. So let's get it going. Nathan B. here, PPR, start 2, Sutton, Jeffrey, or Mike Williams, Byron?
Pretty worried about Sutton right now, even though he could get a lot of targets in this game. You got to put Alshon Jeffrey in, and then to me, you got to decide between Sutton and Williams, who are very close, very, very close in our rankings, and Williams just hasn't delivered on the season. So I think you have to start Alshon Jeffrey and Courtland Sutton. Ironically, two players that are somewhat similar. Sutton's got a lot more wheels in the open field than Alshon does.
Byron, did you guys scout Brandon Allen when he was drafted by Jacksonville a few years ago? Did you get to see him play?
I'm trying to remember, man. I feel like he was a Senior Bowl. To be honest, I have to go back and look at my notes on that.
Yeah, because everyone's saying so sure that he's terrible. I just again, you never know.
It's a bad deal, man. I'm a Courtland Sutton owner. I mean, we've been the front lines of the whole Courtland Sutton thing. Really throughout his draft process and everything, and especially this year in our season-long leagues. But I mean, I have to admit, man, and that's when I can be honest with if I'm a Courtland Sutton guy and I'm worried about him, that's when I say, all right, maybe there is something to be worried about here. But on the other hand, man, it's a low game total, but it's not a matchup that's unbeatable. They could be playing from behind, and who the hell else is this guy going to throw it to than Courtland Sutton?
Yeah.
Can't be worse than Flacco, right?
I mean, that's a pretty strong argument that can be made. Flacco looked like, oh man, who was that kid for the Raiders years ago? Andrew Walter. Do y'all remember that, man? Oh my God, just the absolute statue that just got annihilated for a season when Art Shell came back and coached them. And said, offensive football back about 20 years, man. That's what it felt like watching Joe Flacco.
Ugh.
Well, let's talk about an old game back in 2001. The Falcons and Mike Vick played the Patriots. Mike Vick out of the game early, but had 50 yards rushing on a very similarly led game with Lamar Jackson tonight.
Bench Lamar Jackson at your own risk, right?
Christian S.
Proceed
says,
with
hey,
caution.
guys. Yes. Hey, guys, flex. I need one flex, half-point PPR, Sony Michel, David Montgomery, or Robbie Anderson.
I'm going to get this down to Michelle and Anderson.
You don't like Montgomery at all today, huh?
I mean, he could prove me wrong. It's just it's a
I don't know. I don't have a feeling
matchup, and I hate Matt Nagy and that whole situation. It's a better matchup for the receivers. I don't know, man. There's just Michelle. He's got a pretty clear role in this Patriots offense. You're hoping for the touchdown. I think Anderson's the big play here, man. Like if you've got balls, if you got onions or
heartthrobbers,
you got a big bag of hush puppies, then you roll with Robbie Anderson. If not, man, if you're a little more of a conservative player and you like your team this week, I'd say putting in Sony Michel is just fine.
Byron, you guys always try to avoid like touchdown dependent guys, but would you say Sony Michel could be like a slight exception to that based on the fact that New England scores so many touchdowns?
Yeah. The interesting thing about Sony Michel with as many red zone opportunities and goal line opportunities as he's getting, and it's just an offense that's going to be rich with those opportunities for their running backs this season. The interesting metric with Michel, though, when you compare him to the other guys who are at the top of the league in those opportunities, is all these other guys are getting basically 85 to 100% of their team's red zone and goal line opportunities, whereas Michel, in terms of absolute value, is putting up the same number on the season as a lot of those guys, but he's only getting about 50%, maybe 60% of those opportunities for the Patriots. So it just tells me, I mean, he is an anomaly. He's a kind of the lead guy. He's going to get a lot of touches for a Patriots offense that's just going to be in the red zone a lot and reliant upon their running backs. But it tells you he can also kind of ghost you, and that he's still a guy that touchdown dependency you have to worry could rear its head. And I think it did last week if I were to go back and look at Sony Michel's stats. So I think he's a solid play, less than thrilling, but solid play. If you've got some onions and you're an aggressive player, I'd say throw down on Robbie Anderson.
And most of us are here at the Flex Network.
I would just say if you're not going to play Robbie Anderson this week, why is he on your team?
I mean, this is what you've been waiting for. There you go. There you go.
Smoke him if you got him. Chris Strauss, good morning. Happy week 9. I'm already down because my opponent has Fells. Imagine that. Standard League, Smokey John Brown or Marvin Jones. Also, Gore, Damian Williams, or Miles Sanders.
I'm not sure if you guys have the rankings up over at RosterWatch.com or not, but as I look at this, man, I think I'm going to roll Starvin Marvin over John Brown, just as I'm worried that the Bills kind of start to put a wrap on this game early and they don't really have to hit the gas pedal with John Brown, whereas Marvin Jones is in definitely a sweet spot where he's a little boom bust guy, but this is a spot where if he's ever going to go boom, it could be in a matchup like this.
Well, and also, Josh Allen Damian accurate down the field, which is what's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. And I would start Miles Sanders at the running back position.
Here, Matt, you want one from Slack? I got another good one here.
Hit it.
This one is interesting. It's Janu Smith versus Jack Doyle with no T.Y. Hilton in there.
It is interesting. I think that's the top and the bottom of that group of players this week. And Janu Smith is at the top, but they're all in the conversation, and it's almost like a game of tight end roulette. I mean, you don't know who the hell. It's drawing straws. You don't know which one of these guys you're just closing your eyes and sticking your hand in the bag and pulling it out. Some of those guys are going to hit, and some of them are going to flop. And pretty hard to bench Janu Smith for Jack Doyle this week, though.
He looks pretty good too. He looks pretty good.
He's a good player. Man, we scouted Janu Smith. He's a guy from the Senior Bowl. I loved. It's been 2-3 years in the league. When we went to that, was it 16? I had him as a my comp for Janu Smith coming out was Delaney Walker. So to me, it was very ironic they ended up on the same team. I mean, clearly the Titans had a kind of an archetype for the tight end that they want in their team, and they kind of came behind it with a guy like Janu, and I think we're slowly seeing that happen for him, man.
All right, here we go. So we're going to get rapid going here, Byron. This is another lady of RosterWatch Nation. Thank you, Jennifer. RosterWatch member, 5-2 PPR Superflex. She has went, for some reason, that just sounded so great from a lady of RosterWatch Nation. 5-2 PPR Superflex. Yes, I have Winston and Brissett. Someone dropped Ryan. Should I drop Brissett and pick him up for ROS ? We can only have 2 QBs. I can play DA. I don't know what that is, but what do you think here, Byron?
Well, at 5-2 in a super flex, I mean, Brissett's been a good quarterback on the season. It's a tough one because Brissett's been good enough, but you can't let Matt Ryan go to another team or he's just too good of a fantasy quarterback, right? And I think at 5-2, it's an aggressive move, but I'd probably go for Matt Ryan. I mean, you can't be that pumped about Jacoby Brissett this week. And I'd rather have Matt Ryan than Jacoby Brissett rest of the season in that super flex. So, yeah, I'd make the move, pick up Matt Ryan. And I'm not sure who she's replacing Brissett with. That was unclear there, but I hope you have a strong flex play behind that.
Jennifer,
yes,
you need to
DA, Devontae Adams. Is that
Devontae Adams? That's probably
Yes.
what it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
man,
that's what it is.
Live life. And if some reason he's out, then, I think he's going to play, though. So just live life.
So he's
Live,
likely to.
yeah.
Chris,
Live
you're
life,
back
Jennifer. We
today.
love that.
That's interesting.
And then we asked you this last week. Can you give us any update? Are you watching the game right now, Byron? Do you think that
so much.
Foles? Where do you predict the Foles when he comes back? Is they're just going to put him in there and play, or are they going to give Minshew
I
a
think it
chance
depends
to
on what
lose it?
happens in this game. If Jaguars lose this game, which they were the last I checked,
Yeah, they're losing.
I mean, I would assume they'll have a little bit of a quarterback competition and see how Nick Foles looks during the week. I mean, Nick Foles this team would be better with Nick Foles. Had he not been injured to this point, now coming off the injury, it's unclear, and Minshew's got the momentum, and he's another guy that we've liked since the Senior Bowl last year, but you have to think this Jaguars team would have been better on the season so far with Nick Foles than they did with the rookie quarterback.
If a team offers the Jaguars a second-round pick for Minshew, they take it like that, right? Or do they hold on to Minshew?
Oh, my God. I think you got to take it, right?
I agree.
I've said for a long time, he's got a little Jimmy Garoppolo to him. I'm not sure he's that caliber, but that's the type of prospect that he is. I think that's what Belichick got for Garoppolo. But if you got Foles on the books for that amount of money and a pretty good team behind him, man, you see what you get for either one of those guys, I think, and you make the biggest move you can.
Tennessee Titans should do it.
And there you go. Byron Lambert saying that Gardner Minshew has a little Jimmy. And here we go. B. Ollie must-win game for me. Who should he start? Tannehill, Allen, Fitz, or Matt Moore?
Oh, you can never start Dracula when your fantasy fortunes are on the line, man. In a life or death situation, we want to live, man. We want to live. We want to thrive. We want to live with some zest here and some gusto. We like to go big. Tannehill, I'm with Alex. This could be the pumpkin game for Tannehill. It could be a good one. It could be a pumpkin. Allen, I get a little bit worried that they start beating that.
Kyle Allen or Josh Allen?
I'm assuming that's Josh.
I was assuming it's Kyle. That's funny you said that.
I thought it was Brandon.
I probably might be Brandon because look at all these options.
So without knowing exactly which Allen that is, I'm probably going to start Ryan Fitzpatrick this week.
Okay. I love Fitzmagic.
Fitzmagic
is kind of game where he's just going to go crazy.
Shane and I cut from the same cloth. I like Shane because he just sits back and he's real methodical. He takes it all in. He's not just running his mouth. You know what I mean? He's thinking about this shit. So I like that.
Oh, wait, like that guy.
Yeah, and then you listen to him, and he gets you through a mega heartthrobber Marvin Jones 4-touchdown game when everybody else was out on him.
Come on, guys.
Do you think Devontae Adams will play? I'm saying yes. Are we all saying yes with that one? He was leapfrogging guys in practice.
Yeah, that's what wouldn't. I mean, I think he does play, right?
He's got to play.
Is that an afternoon game?
Trimmel Hawkins, CU Kamara, 5-3. Also, do I risk playing Ty Johnson, or should I drop him and pick up Deontay or Paris Campbell? I can't afford to drop anyone else on my roster.
Paris Campbell, that's a sneaky idea this week, really.
we were just talking about, is this going to be the week Andy Isabella, Paris Campbell, N'Keal Harry's back? Is it going to happen?
No, I mean it
I don't
could,
think
but
so
it's too
either.
cockamamie.
Well, it did
Okay,
happen
good.
for Andy
So
Isabella.
it was Ty
already.
Johnson, or who was my other? Go back one. It was Ty Johnson.
Deontay.
Ooh.
See, to me, it's
In,
between those two guys.
Standard league, not PPR. Standard.
In standard, I think you have to go with the running back.
Ty Johnson.
I really like Deontay right now, but you never know. That's targets could go anywhere. I still think in a given week, it's still connected to Mason Rudolph, and non-PPR format, it reduces the value of him of a wide receiver. So
Yes. Jennifer Olstead back again. Adams, DJ Moore, Godwin, Williams, Singletary, full point PPR, need 4 if she drops Brissett to pick up Ryan for rest of season.
need 4. Okay, Jennifer, you got a good team. Nice work. Well, Godwin's a must start, right?
Yep.
We know we
Adams
like
would
Tyrell
be.
Williams. I do.
Yep.
So that's 2 for me. Then if you look at the rest of those guys, if Devontae Adams goes, you're gonna play him. So that's 3.
Singletary or DJ Moore?
I think Singletary's a safe play.
But
It's risky. It's
And if
risky,
Adam-
but it's
yeah,
safe.
I think that's it. And then if you get swindled on Adams, you got to be Jennifer. You got to have some kind of. I hope you got to just have Plan B just in case. Keep an eye on that.
Keep an eye on it. B. Ollie, PPR, Curtis Samuel, Parker, or P. Williams.
Preston.
Yeah. Samuel's popping up in a lot of these questions today.
Ooh.
That's so funny, you guys. Well, I'm about to ask you guys my own sit-start question in a second. Then I had to run this down earlier, and I had to get Curtis Samuel in over Preston Williams in my own league, but it's a very close call. So I'm going with Curtis Samuel. Was it only one of those guys?
It
Looks
seems
like
like it's only one. Yeah. You can't trust Devontae
Well,
Parker.
the thing about going with Curtis Samuel is at least that way you don't have to worry about the Miami guys, because one of those guys is probably going to.
You're going to feel hurt. You're going to start the wrong one and feel hurt. Preston Williams has a pretty good prop this week. I had to look at that long and hard this morning. It's a very close call. I got Samuel in over Preston Williams. So let me ask you guys, that's leaving me with a decision in a must-win of Preston Williams versus Anthony Miller in a half-point PPR.
Ooh, come on, the golden son.
Of all the guys, it had to be our boy Anthony Miller.
Yeah.
I mean, I had Anthony Miller in. The prop came in a lot bigger on Preston Williams. And Preston Williams, he kind of screwed me last week, but he's been serviceable. You can see he's got some upside. He's got some targets. I just worry, does Anthony Miller at any given week, he could fall behind, like it could be a Taylor Gabriel or a Tariq Cohen that gets the targets, or like
only 3 targets last week, 50% of snaps. I think you got to go Preston Williams.
Williams.
Based on what you just said with the upside. Anthony Miller, for shockingly, hasn't had much of a floor. And I know you don't like floor ceiling.
It's such a tough decision. I want to play Anthony Miller badly this week. This is like the place I want to have to get him in some league, but I'm not sure I can get him in over.
Byron, this is the question. This is completely off related. You were like the one guy who was like, listen, guys, Leonard Fournette, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Just be patient. He didn't just score.
Okay. I was about
to say. I'm talking about on the season. Okay. And he's doing everything except for getting touchdowns right now. You guys are like the ultimate RosterWatch, the ultimate Leonard Fournette truthers. Anthony Miller, is it going to happen? What do you think at this point?
He's got to have a better quarterback. Anthony Miller is a good football player. I'm not buying that he's not at this point. He's got to have a better quarterback. It's just the bottom line, man. You got to have, if you have a crappy quarterback, it costs everybody on the entire offense, man.
Especially in that scheme that they're trying to run. They're trying to run a scheme almost with the Lamar Jack. They need Lamar Jackson.
Just imagine if you had Anthony Miller somewhere, even with like a Phillip Rivers or something. Even as like the number 2 or 3 guy for a Phillip Rivers, like he would be doing so much better than he is, or with a Matt Stafford or any of these guys, or Russell Wilson.
Yeah, he would play
Russell Wilson, the ultimate. Yeah,
I mean, or he would Tom Brady. You would slide him in right for Tom Brady, and Anthony Miller would be. He'd be a relevant player immediately, right? So, I mean, it's just he's a good player. I think one thing I'd like to snoop around this offseason is why he had such a slow start to this season. I know he's a little injured during training camp and sat out for a couple weeks in camp. And so I wonder if that he has been coming on, but he's just still limited by Mitch Trubisky in such a bad way right now.
Hopefully he follows that Tyler Boyd path where a decent, something in year one, like a little bit of a regression year two, and then year three explosion. I
want him to keep his confidence though, because if he ends up somewhere else on a second contract with a better quarterback, he could still be good. You just got to hope he's one of these young guys that doesn't lose his confidence. He's a dog. I don't think he will. We'll see.
Right.
Well, have we not thought that he's getting outplayed by Taylor Gabriel? Is that potentially an answer there? That he's
two different players, and I mean, you could argue that. You can make that argument. Why hasn't he been able to take the clear number 2 spot from Taylor Gabriel? But Taylor Gabriel is a guy they paid in free agency, who they brought in when Anthony Miller was a rookie. So you could see how you could see how that's going to stack the deck right away in Gabriel's favor coming out of the gate last year. And
they clearly want to get Cohen the ball too, in space.
Too many mouths to feed for a quarterback that can't support it, right? So
yeah,
I just think Anthony Miller is a good player. It just really depends on if he can ever exist in the place where he's going to get the opportunities. He needs 6-8 targets a game to be relevant in fantasy.
Yeah.
Here's an update. Okay. Duke Johnson rushes to the right for a 1-yard touchdown. Update. Duke Johnson now in my league has 19.1 fantasy points. What a flex play. If you put Duke Johnson in this week. Rodney M, love you guys. Full point PPR. Should I play Jalen Samuels or Mark Ingram? Connor is doubtful, but tough enough to try to play. Samuels, yes. B. Ollie, Denver, Tennessee, Cleveland, or Pittsburgh. Need one for the win.
Oh, that's like they're all in the same category. Yeah, a lot of people are hot on Cleveland this week. Yeah, I guess it'd have to be Cleveland.
Cleveland, Nicholas, Bisco, half point, and they need one. Gore, Brown, or Sanders.
Gore, Brown.
Assuming that's Marquise, right?
Yeah, I would have to be Marquise, I would assume.
You think Hollywood?
I think I'm probably. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably playing Sanders. I mean, Hollywood could go big at any time. I think Miles Sanders, oddly enough, and Hollywood Brown are very similar plays, kind of boom bust guys that have big upside. Ironically, it's Sanders gets the huge action in the passing game. We kind of like Jordan Howard a little bit this week. That can always flip over to the other guy that you're not thinking about. I'm gonna take my chance with Miles Sanders here, Nicholas. Thank you so much for your loyal support.
Marquise Brown will probably, the New England will keep him in front of them. He's not going to let him.
Oh, that's Stephon Gilmore. I'm playing him in a league where I have to play him, and I don't feel too good about it.
Yeah, I like the Miles Sanders call there.
Okay, Ewalps, love you, brother. Thank you for the question. 1 point PPR flex question. Walton or Sonny Michel?
You're better than this.
No, this might be a real life decision here, Byron.
Well, now I'm curious what you guys are thinking before I fire my bullet here. I'm curious what changing.
I don't like
PPR. I don't know. I think I start Walton here. Is that crazy?
Not crazy.
Not crazy.
You can't do it.
Yeah,
fine, man. That's a cock
personally.
And James White is questionable. What if he doesn't play?
This is a quote unquote minor toe, but you're right. I mean, they can go anyway. But before you know it, that'll be a Burkhead or a Damian Harris,
Brandon Bolden.
Something. Yeah, I mean, they won't all go to Sonny Michel. That's the one thing that we do know.
That's true.
I mean, Sonny Michel is the safe play. I think if you're willing to get a little creative and be a more aggressive, then if you're a more aggressive player, go with Walton. If you want to play it safe, go with Sonny Michel.
Jennifer back again, half point PPR. She's starting Tannehill, Mike Evans, Juju, Henry, T-Mac, and Evan Ingram. These are my available flex options. Catch TMC, Miles Sanders, or Sterling Shepard. She sat Breida, Fitz, and Edmonds is out. Any changes?
Tannehill, Evans, Juju, Henry, Mac.
So essentially it's, do you want to play Miles Sanders or Sterling Shepard ahead of anybody else there?
Yeah, I'm super down on Terry McLaurin. You need to get him out of your lineup this week.
I would start Sterling Shepard over Terry McLaurin this week.
I think so. That's the safe play.
I'd say that's
the safe play. And then I don't hate Miles Sanders. I would start either of those guys over Terry McLaurin this week, Miles Sanders or Sterling Shepard. So if you guys have a feeling about Shepard there over Sanders, We've told a couple people Sanders. I think Shepard is a fine play. You worry about Tate, Ingram, and everybody cannibalizing.
Close.
Put that back. Pop that back up for me.
Because she's got Evan Ingram. That kind of hurts the whole thing, right?
Miles Sanders with Well, yeah, or you could say I'm going to just try to lock that whole thing up. That's kind of a safe approach. Get Ingram and Shepard in and just say, like, let me not get screwed. You know what I mean? Let me just get a decent portion of that. Miles Sanders only an 18% snap count last week. You worry about that?
Gosh. Yeah,
I
with the
think you get
Jordan
Sterling-
Howard
I
revenge
think you
game.
get Sterling Shepard and Evan Ingram in, and that's an interesting anchor to the rest of what's a very good lineup there.
Well, and it's in New York, or I guess Jersey. So it's at home.
This has got to be Ty Johnson right now. You know what's crazy is James White. What does he average? 10. I think it's been 10 points a game in PPR. I think he scored that every week that he's played this season, and nobody even notices it, right? But
you expect it.
I think don't you play Ty Johnson in a half-point setting this week? I think.
Ty Johnson could have had a much bigger stat line last week had there not been a couple holding calls or something like that pulled back on him. So we'd be a lot happier about starting Ty Johnson had that not happened last week. So yeah, I'd say let's roll out Ty Johnson. Give him another
Trey
shot.
Carson. I mean, just taking your chances here.
Play the song.
I mean, don't you want to just take that? Who's going to get the touches is the way I'm thinking about this, right? I think we feel better. We feel more confident Ty Johnson will get the touches than James White this week.
I feel confident that is going to happen. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, Trey Carson went to IR. I mean, with Paul Perkins.
I could be a swindle, but so could it if you got White. If you're going to play Johnson, this is like the week to do it, I would assume.
Jennifer saying, yes, Shane, I do feel much better about Juju right now. Flex.
Hey, Matt, do you want? I have a couple from Slack.
Yep, go ahead.
As well.
Go ahead.
Byron, the first one is Dak or what is it? Dak or Josh Allen?
Dak.
Oh yeah,
he's in a good spot this week. And the second one is sit one of these guys in full PPR: Sony Michel, Chris Carson, or Alshon Jeffrey. Sit one
in PPR.
Yes.
Oh Jesus, man! I mean, I hate.
They don't make it easy for you.
Hey, Chris Carson is just crazy. Seems crazy to say, right?
You would say Chris Carson?
I mean, I hate his matchup this week, and you said it's PPR. I mean, it seems crazy to say Chris Carson.
Yeah, but hating the matchup, I mean, you have to assume that Russell Wilson's going to be on the goal line. He is going to get every single goal line.
All right, so you get Carson. So
isn't Penny back though?
Penny or no Penny, Carson's getting the
all right,
run.
You're the Seattle guy, so that's fine. So Carson, pop that one
Michelle
back
or
up.
Alshon Jeffrey.
It was sitting Sony, sitting Carson, sitting Alshon.
I don't see how you sit Alshon. So to me, you're sitting Sony Michel, and in a PPR, I don't see how you sit Alshon in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun Jackson is back today.
That's good for Alshon. I think that's good for Alshon.
It's a revenge game. I don't know, man. I think if this wasn't PPR, I'd say put Michelle in, but in a PPR, in a close call, I'm gonna tip it towards an Alshon. So if that's where we're at, it means you're sitting Sony Michel, which is fine in PPR.
Yes. Yo Mama So Fat one of my favorite commenters here, got Lamar Jackson. Am I crazy to sit the Pats defense and start the Steelers D?
Yes. You are
yes, you are crazy.
Don't do it, and don't get caught up in that nonsensical and harebrained line of logic. That's like a trap. It doesn't. First of all, this isn't a DFS like correlation type deal. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe there's something in the range of potential outcomes, the thousands or hundreds of thousands of outcomes where there is some limited upside to that combination, but you can't really control that. You just got to make your best plays this week, right? And like your best play is the Patriots defense and Lamar Jackson.
If anything, treat it like a cash game if you're going to really make the DFS comparison.
Dude, just you make your best plays. I mean, that's it. You have to put all of that is bullshit. You have to put in the players you think are going to score the most points on the week. So I get if you think it's really, really close that you split the hairs with that kind of logic, but it's just not close in anybody's rankings between Patriots defense and Steelers defense.
Yeah. It's not close.
For fantasy, do you think the Patriots defense is going to continue on this major destruction path?
They've got a good schedule. Yes, they feel it, man. They're the MVP of the season. I mean, either them or McCaffrey, right?
They are such a league winner. And I hate that term, league winner, but they are.
Even Belichick that's making the defensive play calls right now. That's pretty crazy.
He is, or he's not.
He is. He's been the one making the calls.
So dialed in. I think he's having fun. I think they're having fun with this iteration of the team. All right, let's rapid fire. I got 5 minutes here, boys.
All right, Titans defense or Cowboys defense? Vincent Vega.
Titans.
Butterfinger 87, Stafford or Cousins for FanDuel?
I don't know what the pricing is. I don't have it in front of me. So if all things were even, I'm going to play Stafford.
Okay.
But if there's a big difference in pricing, I could just go with the cheaper guy.
Isaac, love you, Isaac. This is Banana in the Tailpipe here. It's your fantasy team, love life. Byron Lambert, words to live by. Team name, Buster. Okay. Easy.
Buster Hyman.
Yeah. 5-3. Christopher Moss, easy picking. 6-2 in second place. Now that my trade for Kamara was vetoed, never like to see that.
What a bunch of clowns, man. Those guys need to be taken out behind the schoolyard and get a whipping, man.
A whipping. Kamara, do I start Josh Jacobs, Mark Ingram, or Robbie Anderson in the flex?
Josh Jacobs, and I'd feel absolutely very, very dick about that move.
Byron, where do you think Josh Jacobs is going to go in redraft next year? Is he a first-round pick?
Maybe. I don't know that I love him that much as a NFL player, but I can see all the reasons why he would be. Yeah. Think about the guys you're taking at the end of round one. I mean, it's going to be some receiver at the turn. You're going to want Julio Jones. You want Josh Jacobs next year. I guarantee that's the kind of decision we'll be facing.
Okay. Yes, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars in the red zone right now, hopefully getting a score.
He'll be in the Nick Chubb, Dalvin Cook slot this year. No lower than maybe where a Joe Mixon was. So, I mean, you're talking, and he'll definitely be above that. So, late second round pick.
Chubb,
late first round pick.
Chubb and those guys are pushed up to the top now, obviously.
Yeah. Late first round, early second round, around the turn. All right, let's go.
Jennifer, it's stay with Pat's defense. Andrew Carasquillo, top 3 value QBs on DK in cash.
Go to the cheat sheet. Go to the cheat sheet on the side. The DraftKings cheat, DFS cheat sheet, week 9 cheat sheet at rosterwatch.com. You can see the value on the quarterback plays for the week there.
Okay, Gerpinder Duel. Good morning, all standard league. Tyler Lockett, Allen Robinson, Keenan Allen, Robbie Anderson, pick 3. I feel crazy benching Robbie this week. And you're right. It is
crazy. Stud.
You gotta play Tyler Lockett for sure. That's easy.
His team name is Lenny's Beignet Shop, record 4-4.
You love Allen Robinson this week. So to me, it's Keenan Allen or Robbie Anderson. What's the matchup for Keenan? How good is the matchup
against
on
Green Bay? I mean, it's 19th ranked matchup. Green Bay is tough against the pass.
You guys want to put Robbie Anderson in over Keenan Allen this week, or is that's a tough decision?
For
Why
me,
are you putting this on us?
Team, I'm benching Robbie Anderson.
This is your show. You're the Flex Network.
It's my team. I'm benching Robbie Anderson, but I feel sick about that.
Nope. Let's put Robbie Anderson.
But here's the other. Here is the other line of logic that if every week you just roll out Tyler Lockett, Keenan Allen, and who was the other one that was awesome? Allen Robinson. Like if you just do that every week, you're gonna win a lot, right?
Yeah.
Instead of outsmarting yourself. So
that's just it.
Hey, guys,
it's in standard. It's in standard. Dude, I would go Lockett, Robinson, Keenan Allen, and standard.
Okay.
Hey,
go ahead. That's her.
Matt, yeah, this one, Josh Allen or Derek Carr. I thought this is a good one.
Derek Carr.
Yeah,
Derek Carr.
Standard Shane wants Robbie Anderson. That's a tough one, man.
No, I wouldn't. I would go with Keenan Allen.
Okay.
Oh, you would?
Yeah, I would go with Keenan Allen too. I wouldn't know. Otherwise, you're outsmarting yourself at that point.
Yeah, it's too smart.
Nick Bastian, is Diggs a good start today?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure
Every
he
day.
is. Exactly. Jennifer.
He's been unbelievable.
Jennifer and Shane have a connection here. Shane, yes, at my home, Jersey girl here. B. Ollie, PPR, Randall Cobb, Mecole Hardman, Hunter Renfrow, or Bill Snead?
The 4th.
Filthy.
I mean, Bill Snead the 4th. Isn't that what it says on his jersey?
I don't know.
Probably in PPR, it's probably. Ooh, I think it's Snead or Cobb, isn't it? Snead.
Bill.
Yeah.
Against the Patriots?
I don't hate the slot receivers against the Patriots. I don't think.
That's where they go, right? I mean, Jameson Crowder kind of shot the bed a couple.
Pop that back up. I got to look at this.
Mecole's look good.
Mecole's the big play guy. The only reason if this was standard, I think I would go with Mecole.
Tyreek Hill's there.
Yeah.
1 minute left. Couple questions.
Maybe Randall Cobb is a safe play. We like Dak a lot this week.
Let's just play the damn song and just roll.
Play the song right now. Ewalbs, good luck today, everybody. Got to bounce early. Great show as always. Thank you so much, Ewalbs, for your support. Brait or Doyle. Brait questionable going into the game, but Seahawks always bad against tight end. There you are. B. Ollie, Winston or Darnold?
Probably Winston.
There you go, Winston. Byron, I got a good one for you here. 15-year or 30-year fixed APR.
Well, my advice would always be to take out the 30-year mortgage and then just be disciplined to pay it off on the 15-year schedule. That way you're not committed to the higher payment.
That is good advice.
It's the same exact thing. Taking out the 30-year, sometimes there'll be a slight difference in the rate, but if you take out the 30-year mortgage and pay it off in the 15-year schedule, it's the exact same thing as taking out the 15-year mortgage. The difference is you are only committed to the 30-year payment, which is a lower payment on the 30 years. So if you're ever in a bind or something, so the best thing if you're a disciplined financier is take out the 30-year mortgage and pay it off in 15.
That is unbelievable advice. I think that's a little,
I called you before I renewed my mortgage last year.
We zig when everyone else zags.
Yeah, that's really good.
Well, pleasure being on the front lines for Roster Watch Nation. We appreciate each and every one of our listeners, followers, subscribers for all of your long time and loyal support. And we look forward to doing more and more every year for you guys. So as the community grows, so will the offerings at rosterwatch.com. So long, everybody.
Later, guys. Thank you. Have a great week 9. Flex.
Go Flex.
All right, boys.